Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. I'm Isham and I'll be moderating our professional meeting today while also presenting later as technology analyst. Our campaign is titled Mind Over Media, Reclaiming Focus in the Digital Age, and it's focused on tackling one of the most relevant issues of our generation, which is addiction to short form content, especially from platforms like TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Short. Our slogan is simple: swipe less and live more. And that's captured the heart of what we're trying to do, encouraging youth to take back control of their time and focus. So for our campaign objective, we have listed out three objectives that we want to achieve in our campaign. Firstly, is to raise awareness about the mental, physical, academic, social risks of excessive short form content use. Second is to provide practical tools for our youth, parents, and teachers to encourage healthier digital habits. Third is to drive system level change by proposing improvement for schools and technology platforms, especially through our digital well-being framework. So let's go through our target audience. You might ask, who is our target audience? Our primary audience is teenager and university student aged from 13 to 25 who are the heaviest user of short form platform. Our secondary audience include parents, educators, and digital content creators, people who can help and guide the influence that age group. So what is our campaign activity? As you can see for our poster, we have listed out several campaign activity that we'll be making. First is our mindful scrolling workshop in school to address the health, psychological, academic, and social impact of overuse. Second, a digital detox weekend challenge where participants take a 48-hour break from short form content. Third, we have screens smart peer talks where students share their personal experience and coping strategy. Furthermore, we have a social media campaign called Algorithm Awareness where we expose how platform hook user and provide way to break the cycle. And last but not least, we propose digital well-being framework, a tech-based solution designed to reduce compulsive app use. So in our timeline summary, our timeline is simple. On first week, we will be planning and coordinating. Second week, we'll be making content development and visual preparation. Third week is the campaign launch and event execution. And fourth week is the evaluation, feedback collection, and proposal presentation. Each phase support a clear structure rollout of the campaign. So for our group role is simple. Here, as you can see, we have our members here, which is first, ALIF, leads on health awareness and risk communication. Second, we have ZAFRI, that handles the psychological analysis and peer discussion. Third, we have Adelina, focused on academic impact and digital study habits. Darian, lead the social awareness component and digital detox challenge. And I'll be covering the tech side, including our proposed digital well-being framework. So now that I have introduced the campaign, so let's hear from the rest of the team as we explore each of the angle in more detail. So I would like to give and invite Alif to the stage to give talk on our meeting as he as our health lead to talk about his point of view. So go on, Alif.
All right. Thank you so much, Isham. All right, team. I will take a few minutes to explain what I've planned for health section of our campaign, Mind Over Media. As the health lead, my role is to highlight and tackle the physical health impact caused by excessive short-form content consumption, like on TikTok, Reels, and YouTube Shorts. So when I was drafting the content for this part of the campaign, I identified three major health risks that are becoming increasingly common among our target group, youth age 13 to 25. First is sleep disruption. This is probably the most common issues. A lot of young people end up scrolling endlessly late into the night. The blue light from the screen and the addictive nature of endless scrolling delays their sleep cycle. What happens is they get less rest, they wake up tired, and it affects their ability to focus in class or during the day. So I will be presenting this issue during our workshop using a simple data and relatable examples like real student quotes or a day in the life visual to show how night of poor sleep builds up to long-term fatigue. Next, we have a physical and activity. Short form content is designed to be quick, addictive, and continuous, leading users to stay seated for a long periods without realizing it. This sedentary behavior raises risks like weight gain, poor posture, stiff muscle, and even the early stage of cardiovascular problem if it become a daily habit. So for this, I'm planning an interactive segment during our week 3 mindful scrolling workshop where I will ask the participant to reflect on how long they stay active when using a social media and offer practical movement routines that they can do between sessions. So to support this, I also designing a move before you scroll challenges to promote on social media. The idea is simple. Before opening a TikTok, you have to do a quick movement, stretch, jump, walk, just 30 seconds. We'll create a visual and maybe even a short demo clips to encourage these habits. So the third issue is digital eye strain, also known as computer vision syndrome. This is when your eyes get tired from watching a fast, high contrast video for too long. Symptoms include dry eyes, headaches, blurred vision, mental fatigue. I explained this using a short infographics during both physical and digital parts of our campaign. So for example, one idea I have is a poster with a mock eye test that illustrates how screen fatigue affects focus. It's visual, fun, and educational at the same time. So in terms of content production, drafting script for 3 short PSAs, public service announcement, to be posted directly on Instagram Reels and TikTok. Each PSA will focus on one health topic, sleep, inactivity, and eye strain, and give one solid tip to manage each issue. For example, like the sleep PSA might show someone scrolling in the bed until 3 a.m., followed by a transition showing them struggle in the class the next day. An activity PSA also could use a struck in school jail visual. It is a funny but meaningful. So I want to keep this short under 60 seconds with caption and fast-paced but clear narration. Beside the videos, I'm also working on the visual learning materials, including posters, workshop slides, and Instagram carousel. This will contain health statistic, how screen time affects sleep cycles in Malaysian teens, simple action tip like 20-20 rule for eye strain. Every 20 minutes, look at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds. Positive reminder to move, blink, and breathe. I will share this draft with the design team by the end of this week for feedback before printing or posting. And lastly, I'm happy to collaborate with any of those whose segment overlap with mine. For example, ZAFRI, maybe we can talk about the connection between health effect with dopamine response during the peer talks. Adlina, maybe if you are covering academic impact, I can support you with the sleep data and how it affects school performance. So to sum up, my goal is to make sure that our audience, students, parents, and teachers understand the real physical cost of endless scrolling and live with an easy way to protect their health. So thank you for listening. Now I'll hand it over to the Zafri who will dive into the physically psychological effect of short content addiction. Thank you.
Thank you, Alif. Assalamualaikum and good afternoon, everyone. I'm Zafri and I'm serving as the psychological analyst for our campaign, Mind Over Media. So my responsibility in this campaign is to examine and address the mental and emotional effects of short-form content addiction, especially how platforms like TikTok Reels and Shorts are impacting the psychological well-being of our young users. So as we know, excessive screen time doesn't lead up to just poor sleep or lower grades. It can also rewire our brain's reward system, decreasing focus, reducing emotional regulation, and causing digital fatigue. And many of our youth don't even realize this is happening to them. So for my part, I'd like to propose a key activity called Dopamine Reset Day. This is also, the name can also be discussed, but this activity is to be conducted during our campaign execution, which is I'm proposing within week 3. So this interactive session is designed to help students understand how their brain is being affected by short form content and more importantly, how they can take it back. So the focus is on breaking the psychological dependency on endless scrolling by combining education, reflection, and habit transformation. So this session would last around 30 to 40 minutes and include the following steps. The following steps. So number one would be a mini talk. So I'll begin with a short, simple explanation of the dopamine cycle, how short videos trigger small but constant dopamine hits that makes users keep on coming back for, often leading to overstimulation and addiction-like behavior lah. So the goal is to make the science accessible and relevant to their daily lives. So the second step is self-check quiz. So the participants will go through a short self-assessments with questions like, do I feel anxious when I'm not online? Or do I use short videos to avoid boredom or stress? So this allows them to reflect on their habits and and let them recognize by themselves the signs of overuse. The third step would be a mindful reset session. So next, I'll guide them through a brief breathing and visualization exercise to calm their mental clutter. So this would help to reduce the overstimulation their brain which is constantly to a exposed to. So it's kind of like a psychological reset to improve self-control and emotional clarity. So the next step would be uh, helping the participants with detox planning. So each participant will then create a 24-hour digital detox plan. So it's not about cutting out all the technology. It's about more to just setting a small and manageable boundaries, like maybe no phone after 10 p.m. or no social media while studying. I'll also provide them with a simple dopamine detox tracker to encourage them to follow through. So the next step, which can be optional, is peer sharing. So if the time allows, we'll open the floor for students to share their experiences or goals. So this kind of adds a sense of peer support, which has been proven to strengthen behavioral change. So why do I think this matter is because this activity can be powerful because it's number one, it's psychology based. Sorry, it's grounded in real science and it's not just advice. Second of all, it's practical. Participants can leave with something they can apply immediately. And third, it aligns directly with our campaign goals, which is building self-awareness, promoting mental wellness, and reducing reliance on addictive tech patterns. So as the psychological analyst, I believe that my role isn't just to explain a problem, it's to guide our audience to a more sustainable solution. So the dopamine reset day does exactly that by combining both education and emotional empowerment. It also supports and complements the other modules in our campaign. For example, while ALIF focuses on the health side, and Adelina addresses academic discipline, my role ties in the mental and behavioral side of the issue, making sure that we address short form content addiction holistically. So in terms of resources, this activity is also very low cost, just slides, basic handouts, and an open space. But the potential impact on mindset and mental clarity is very real. So that is it for my part. Thank you. So I'm excited to hear any of your thoughts or suggestions. So now I would like to pass the floor back to Isham.
Right. Thank you, Zafri, for your really interesting talks and insight about your point of view. So I first thing first, I really agree on what you are talking about on especially on psychological part. So now let's go move on to the academic part. Now I will pass the stage to Adelina Amira as she will be talking on her point of view and what she did. So Adelina, you can take the stage.
Hi everyone, I'm Adelina. So as we enter the week 3, the execution phase of our Mind Over Media campaign, I will be focusing on delivering the academic component, which addresses how short form content impacts students' ability to study, concentrate, and stay productive. So we have noticed that many students today are struggling with focus, time management, and even just feeling motivated to start their work. And one big reason is the way short form platforms like TikTok, Reels, or YouTube Shorts are designed. These apps give constant, fast paced stimulation, and over time, they actually retrain how our brain pays attention. That makes it really hard to sit down and do things like read, revise, or finish long assignments. So I have personally seen this happen all around me. Classmates open TikTok for a 5-minute break and suddenly it's been 45 minutes. It's not because they are lazy, it's because these platforms are built to keep you hooked. That's why in week 3, we are not just raising awareness, we are giving students practical tools they can use right away. First, I will be running academic wellness talks in schools and universities, either in person or online, where I will explain how our digital habits impact our ability to focus and retain information. I will also introduce real strategies that can help students protect their study time without asking them to give up social media completely. For example, the first technique is the Pomodoro technique, which is a time management method that breaks study time into 25 minutes focus blocks followed by short breaks. Second, we have turning off app notifications during revision, so we are not constantly pulled out of our flow. And we have scheduling screen time. So instead of scrolling randomly, students choose when they want to relax online, making it feel more intentional. I will also suggest using focus playlists like lofi music or ambient sounds to help students stay in the zone, especially when studying in noisy or distracting environments. So next, the main interactive activity I will be leading is called Screen Smart Peer Talks. These are peer-led discussion circles where students talk openly about issues like procrastination, stress, or burnout caused by digital habits. The goal is to create a safe space where students can relate to one another, share what's worked for them, and realize they are not alone. Sometimes just knowing that someone else is facing the same struggle can be motivating. We will also guide them in setting small, realistic study goals like doing one subject per night or revising without their phones for 30 minutes. To support all of this, I will be distributing digital infographics and tip sheets that we created during week 2, simple visuals with bite-sized advice that students can follow, save, or even share on their own social media. I just want to stress this campaign is not about quitting TikTok or making students feel guilty. It's about mindful usage. It's about helping students realize they are in control, not the algorithm. And even small changes like reducing screen time by 20 minutes a day can have a big impact on focus and academic results. At the end of each session, I will invite students to choose one thing they are willing to try, whether it's turning on Do Not Disturb, studying with a friend, or uninstalling just one app for exam season. We are not aiming for perfection, just progress. So, to recap, in week 3, I will be giving academic wellness talks, leading screen smart peer talks, distributing visual tools and infographic, and encouraging students to make small and lasting study habit changes. So that's all from me. I will now pass it over to Darren HAZIQ, who will be presenting the social awareness part of our Mind Over Media campaign. Thank you.
Thank you, Adrina. So, hi, I'm Darian. So, for the Mind Over Media campaign, me, as the social awareness lead, my main responsibility is to highlight and address the broader societal impacts caused by excessive consumption of short form content. So, this addiction does not only affect individuals psychologically or academically, but also creates significant ripple effects on family relationships, social behavior, and community interaction. So, the Digital Detox Weekend Challenge is a core social awareness activity designed to address the disconnection between family members and close peers caused by excessive consumption of short form content. In modern society, especially among Malaysian youth aged 13 to 25, the habit of being glued to smartphones has diminished the quality of family bonding time, real life communication, and overall human interaction. This activity serves to break that cycle, even temporarily, and to allow participants to experience life without digital interruptions. So here are the activity details for this challenge. Families, groups of friends or dorm mates will be encouraged to commit a 48-hour digital detox weekend, during which all personal devices such as smartphones, tablets, and laptops are turned off or put away. Participants will be given a detox activity guidebook containing alternative suggestions such as board games, cooking together, nature walks, sports, and storytelling sessions. So to make the challenge engaging, participants are asked to document their offline experiences using journals, disposable cameras, or sketches instead of digital tools. After the weekend, they can share their reflections on what they felt, learned, or rediscovered via a controlled post campaign online platform using the hashtag MindoverMediaMY. So the purpose of this challenge is to target the problem of family disconnection, a severe societal impact of short form content addiction. When youth spend more time on short videos than with family members, bonds are weakened, misunderstandings between them grows, and generational gaps widen. Parents feeling left behind by the digital age struggle to connect with their children. Conversely, youth become detached from the emotional warmth and security that family interaction provides. So, by forcing a temporary break from digital life, this activity fosters reconnection between the parents and children, siblings, or peers. The rediscovery of offline hobbies such as board games or sports that naturally promote communication, and reflection on how much time and attention digital platform demands in everyday life. So, for example of the implementation of this challenge is the university student invites her two siblings and parents to join the challenge. During the weekend, they cook meals together, go for an evening walk, and play old board games like Monopoly. At the end of the weekend, they realize how much quality time they have missed due to excessive phone usage. On a Sunday evening, um, she writes in her journal, for the first time in months, my family laughed together over dinner without any phone distraction. So later, she posts this reflection with the campaign hashtag. So the expected outcome is the increase of awareness on the importance of balancing digital and real life, especially among youth. So in conclusion, the rising addiction to short form content such as TikTok poses serious threats to the social well-being of individuals and communities. Our campaign highlights the urgent need to address reduced empathy among youth, weakening family bonds, and the lack of digital literacy in society. Without proper awareness, young people may become desensitized to real human emotions. Families may drift apart due to screen dependency, and the public may remain vulnerable to manipulation by digital algorithms. These impacts are not limited to individual behavior but also influence societal values, communication patterns, and community cohesion. Through these key activities, the campaign provides practical, relatable ways of individuals and families to regain control of their digital habits by fostering mindful scrolling, encouraging open conversations about technology use, and promoting awareness of algorithm-driven content traps. The project aims to create a more empathetic, connected, and digital literacy society. This collective efforts from youth, parents, educators, and content creators is essential to prevent the long-term societal risks posed by short-form content addiction and to nurture a generational value for real-world human connection alongside responsible technology use. That's all from me. So I will pass back to our lead, Isham. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Darren Haziq, for giving out his point of view on social, where he highlight the importance of relationship, especially in family, friends, peers, and so on. So thank you, Darren Haziq. So last but not least, it's me again, Isham, where I'll be talking in my technological perspective. So in our campaign, I mostly focus on the digital well-being framework proposal. So where in this proposal, I list out what it can do, how can it do, and what will happen after the proposal has been achieved. So before I dive deep into what even is the proposal that I'm going to talk about, so first thing first, we need to go back to our main topic, addiction to the short form content. First, we need to analyze why does this happen in the perspective of technology. So in current rate of technology expand, we realize that AI has been conquering the world. As we know that it called the terms AI booming as we use in our daily lives, such as ChatGPT, Gemini, so on. So what is artificial intelligence or machine learning? So machine learning is some sort of machine or a computer where it learns when the user feeds data to it. So as much as user feeds data to it, the machine will learn with the data being given to them. So in this case, platforms such as TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Short utilize this some sort of technology in their platform. So how does it happen and what it can do? So do you ever think that when you scroll TikTok, when you're searching for badminton videos, when you scroll for a five scroll, all your content will be a badminton related videos. So it will feed you a lot of badminton videos like badminton players, which team is playing right now, and so on. So as I said before, this is called a machine learning, where once you are attracted or related to feed them a certain type of information, the machine learning will feed you back with the related content tailored to your feeds. As I like to point out from Muhammad Zafri psychological perspective, this create a challenge, as we know, because as users scroll, it create a dopamine loop. So what I take from Zafri is that it create a dopamine loop where when the user keeps scrolling, it create a dopamine spike where user immediately required to scroll another. If the user will keep scrolling until he lost track of time and tasks that he need to be done. So this is a worrying matter for a lot of us, especially the youth, because youth are the highest number of users using the current short form platform that we are worrying about. So it's like so what we do is we try to propose a digital well-being framework where it consists of three pillars. First pillar is about awareness. Second pillar is about control. Third is about support. So in the first pillar of awareness, as I said before, in order to break the dopamine loop, this framework will enable or implement an alert. For example, a user scroll the TikTok for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, an alert will notify them how long has been the scroll, how many time has been passed. Not only that it helps to break the dopamine spike as user need to require to answer the alerts. It also help user to track what has been going on since when they are scrolling on TikTok. Second is control. As I said before, sorry, as I said before, control let you adjust or customize to your tailor's need. For example, Zafri said it before. For example, at 10 p.m., user can set, oh, okay, I'm going to use TikTok until 10 p.m. After 10 p.m., I cannot use TikTok anymore. So from this technological point of view, or especially in framework, by implementing this, it helps to support the user custom to their need by locking the app, preventing the user to use it after the 10 p.m. If you want to change it earlier based on your needs, you can change it to 8 p.m. based on what people to help break their unhealthy habit. So last but not least is support. Support is what we talking about is the support from multiple parties, especially from government, parents, school to implement this framework. Without the implementation or enforcement or support from multiple parties, this framework will not work on its own because without the support, the framework cannot stand on its own. So that's why in this support pillar, we need a government to help enforce a law, a certain law in Malaysia, where it is required for TikTok to have certain certification or validation from related bodies regarding this matter. So once the TikTok has implemented this or get the certification needed, then only they can implement their platform in Malaysia. So in conclusion, as I will talk about in framework, in framework, I talk about ideas on ways on how, from a technological perspective, can we help to mitigate the damage has been done. We are not rejecting the technology that we have now or having the backward minds, but how can we change to utilize it to help us to move forward instead of going backward. So as the end of the in the end of our professional meeting, we have completed based on our panel members has explained both of their different perspective and multiple angle on our campaign, which is mind over media, reclaiming focus in the digital age. So that is from our group. So thank you.